Mark Ingram of the Saints back here. How are you, Mark?
I'm good, Rich, man. How are you doing?
I'm fine. How about that your offensive lineman's calling play-by-play right
Hey,
now?
man, that's crazy. You know, that was my right tackle for 7 years of my career, man. So to hear him calling the highlights and calling the touchdowns, for us, that's crazy, man. But he's doing a real good job. I like hearing his voice call the plays.
That's right. And you tied Joe Horn for the record, fifth most touchdowns in Saints history. Were you planning on maybe planting a cell phone underneath the uprights to celebrate in a certain way?
If I had known that I was, about to tie Joe Horn, maybe I would have threw, a little flip cell phone up under the goalpost, in honor of Joe Horn, But I wasn't aware of it. But it's just appreciative. I'm honored and humbled that I could be mentioned with some of the top guys in Saints history. So shout out to Joe Horn, man. He's a legend for putting the flip phone under the goalpost.
Yeah, it just shows you how long it's been that he did a flip phone. That's how long it's been.
A flip phone.
A flip phone, which I'm told Andrew Luck still uses. Who knows? So how does it feel to be back in the mix, Mark?
Man, it feels really good to be back with my teammates, be back with my squad. They was holding it down, and we was able to go 3-1 while I was gone. So I was just working my butt off to make sure I was ready when I got back, so I could just make our team stronger. And that was my goal.
Where were you during that four-game stretch where you were sitting out?
I was in South Florida in the off season, so like Delray Beach, Boca Raton area. That's where I was at training. Just kind of going through my off season training with my trainers, but just keeping my pads on, keeping my helmet on, just working on my catching passes, working on my feet, working on my speed, working on my conditioning. I was just working, man, just making sure I was ready to go when it was my time to get back.
What did you learn from the sit-down from the league, Mark? Did you learn anything, glean anything?
Yeah, it just made me hungrier, it's just, you can't take this game for granted. I love it with all my heart, man, ever since I was a little kid. So just not to be able to be with my team, not to be there, preparing, working with them, it made me hungrier, man. It made me appreciate this game, not take anything for granted, not take any day for granted, man. So it just made me hungrier and way more appreciative, and I'm excited to be back with the guys.
Okay. And do you think the system was fair? Do you think the league system was fair with you, Mark Ingram?
I'm just trying to move on past it, It was a tough situation, like I said a while ago, I didn't really agree with, everything that happened, but it's over with now, so it really doesn't even matter, but it is what it is.
Okay, so moving forward then, Mark, before we move forward, looking back one more game, what was it like being on the field or being right there when Drew Brees set the record that Monday night?
Man, it was special. He's been my guy. He's been my quarterback since my rookie year, so I've seen him break a number of records, have a number of milestones that he's accomplished, but for him to be the all-time passing leader and to be able to witness it on the field with him on a Monday night game in the fashion that he did on a long touchdown pass, it was only right for Drew. Man, he's such a hard worker, such a great person, such a great teammate, the most down-to-earth, humble individual you'll meet, and he just puts in so much work day in and day out. So for him to be able to reach that milestone, the all-time passing yards leader, NFL history. I'm super excited for him. He deserves it, and he's the best ever to do it. So, yeah, I'm a Drew Brees advocate to the end.
Well, much is made, Mark Ingram, about Alabama sending pro-ready kids to the next level. What did you, when you came out of Alabama, learn or glean as a rookie from Drew Brees that you still carry today?
And just how to be a professional, just how to come in and prepare yourself day in and day out to be the best you could be for the team. He was just in there every single morning. I see him. You try to get there early, and he's in there watching film already. He's doing the same routine before practice. He's going through every single read, in routes on the air and team reps. He just showed you how to be a pro. He showed you how to take care of your body. Anything you needed to know, man, you could just look for Drew. He wasn't the only great veteran that I had around me. Other guys like Will Smith, Roman Harper, Lance Moore, Marcus Colston, man. There was just a number of guys who, that were veterans that kind of showed me the way, me and Cam Jordan, when we were rookies, man. And it was just a blessing to have guys like that to learn from and to grow from. And I've been able to grow with Drew for 8 years, and I appreciate that guy more than anything because, like you said, man, he just shows you how to be a pro. He leads by example. If you need to, he's always encouraging. He's always positive. Never negative towards a teammate or towards any situation. So it's a blessing to be able to have him as my quarterback for my career.
And so, what? Give me your favorite story of him in the huddle, whether it's a comeback or just a really pressurized play where he came in and did something. Give me your favorite Brees story if you have one, Mark.
Man, there's a million Drew Brees stories, man. But I remember one time. He dropped back, man. Something must have happened with the communication of the protection because we had somebody come scot-free, man, and just blow Drew up, man. He blew Drew up, and we all went over there trying to pick him up. His lip was bleeding. But like the next play, like he wasn't mad, he wasn't frustrated. His lip was still bloody. He called the play, and I think we was able to go and score a touchdown the next drive. But it just shows like the grit he has, the toughness of him. You know, just for your team to blow a protection and you get blowed up, the franchise QB, a guy who we know we can't let him get hit. We know we can't let him get sacked. I think it was versus the Titans maybe like 3 years ago, but I think Arakpo came free off the edge, blew Drew up, lip bleeding. You know his head was ringing, and he got back in that huddle, called the play for us, and we was able to get a first down and I think go score a touchdown on that drive. So just that grit, that he has, man, it's admirable. And when your quarterback is bleeding in his mouth, is bleeding out his lip, but still calling the play and still able to focus and still be able to put his team in position to have success, I think that just says a lot about his character and how tough he is, man. But I have 1,000,000 Drew Brees stories that we could talk about for an hour.
I bet. So have you ever, in a quiet moment, brought up with Nick Saban being a national champion and Heisman Trophy winner out of Alabama, having the standing to ask Nick Saban what happened in Miami, why he and Drew Brees didn't connect there? Thus,
man, I never talked to Coach Saban about that, man. I never have, but I think that's going to be on my short list with him. Since you bring it up, I'm gonna have to press him about that situation.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, I mean, it helped you. It helped you.
Hey, that's what I was about to say. I was like, I'm not mad that it didn't work out because Alabama wouldn't be what it is today,
Nor were the Saints.
Nor were the Saints. So it kind of worked out for the better for both parties. But
right? I mean, it's a win-win. I
got to enjoy the fruits of both of them. So I'm excited about that. Because the Dolphins didn't get Drew Brees, I got to go to Alabama and be coached by, possibly the greatest college football coach ever. And then I got to get drafted to the Saints where, I got to play with, probably the best quarterback to ever play the game. So I get to enjoy the fruits of both from that decision. So I'm happy about that.
A few more minutes left here with Mark Ingram on the Rich Eisen Show. So is it safe to say Tua gets your Heisman vote this year, Mark?
Oh, Tua legit has my Heisman vote. That dude is ridiculous. I don't even think he's played more than 2.5 quarters, and he's probably the Heisman front runner.
We're asking around here if a Heisman front runner has ever had the second most snaps at quarterback on his team. We're wondering that.
I doubt that. I highly doubt that. There's no way, right?
It's unbelievable.
That's not normal.
No, but he's not normal. He's not normal, really, Mark. I mean, his deep ball is so beautiful, and then there's the rest of his game. I mean, he's unbelievable.
Yeah, you could just tell, he was very polished coming out of high school as far as passing the ball, man. And you could just tell. And he's growing and he's learning every single game, which is trouble for the rest of the, NCAA. So roll Tide and roll Tua.
That's right, roll Tua. So last thing for you here, I want to delve into your relationship with Alvin Kamara here because you guys are sharing footballs. You're back in the mix, and he was a bell cow for the team for 4 games, then 9 touches. Mm-hmm. What is your relationship like with him?
Man, that's like my little brother, man. Ever since he came in last year, he was just, he was humble. He was down to earth. If he needed to learn, he was just, willing to learn, willing to do whatever it took to, be the best he could be. And he didn't think he knew everything. He didn't feel like he was entitled. He just worked, man. And we just developed a friendship, developed a relationship, developed a bond. He went to Alabama, so I knew him from then.
That's right.
He transferred to Tennessee, of course, but he's a Crimson Tide guy. He's one of us, even though he didn't stay. So we had that relationship, but man, we just cool, man. We don't have any animosity. We want to see each other do well. We want to see each other have great success, and we want to do things that have never been done. We want to be the best backfield, ever play in the league, and man, we just keep pushing each other that way, man. Competition breeds excellence, and we compete, but we compete versus each other, but we also support each other. So I think that's really healthy, and we're appreciative of each other's talents and how we go about each other, how we go about each day and working and putting ourselves in position to help this team win games, man. So that's my bro, and that's my dude for life, man.
Whose idea has it been to do post-game interviews together like you did last Monday?
We just kind of just did it together one year. Like, one game, I think we both had, pretty good game, and
right.
We just kind of did it. Our lockers are right by each other all the time, and I think we were both just getting dressed, and we both were ready at the same time, and the slew of media was right there, and we just kind of started it then. I think it was like the fourth or fifth game last year, fifth or sixth game last year. We started doing it, and we've just been doing it like that ever since. Our lockers are right by each other, and we're usually finishing, getting ready around the same time. So
okay.
when the crowd of media comes over, we just say, hey, man, it's time for our interview.
Nice. Who leads in touches, though? Who leads there? Who gets the first answer in that usually?
It kind of just depends on how the game went. If he went for like 200 scrimmage yards and 3 TDs, who might get the first question? If I had, 150 rushing yards and 2 rush TDs, I might get the first question. But, it doesn't really matter. It's all good, man. That's my guy.
And how does Taysom Hill get in this now? I mean, does he come in?
Hey, somebody.
What? Hold on. What's the nicknames? Give me that again.
Taysom Trill. Tay somebody.
Taste some of these. That's great. I mean, that is fantastic.
Yeah, he's the man, bro. He's the man. We love running that read option with him in the game. We love that.
I know. I wish he'd left it in the hands of Alvin Kamara last time, because I mean, look.
Ooh, yeah.
He'd hit his head on the goalpost. He I don't know if that's brought up in a film session, and because you can't tell, Mark. This is how much I really appreciate you, and I've known you for a long time, and I love having you on the show. I'm a guy who has Alvin Kamara in fantasy, and I'm not going to lie, that Monday night return of yours kind of left a mark on my fantasy team. And I'm mean Ingram. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that fantasy, man. That fantasy is funny, man. People are tripping out about the fantasy, but
I'm one of those tripping.
I'm sorry, Rich. I apologize. I had to get in there. I had to score them TDs, man. I had to. I needed those.
Okay, for your personal and professional well-being is what you're saying.
For my reality, not my fantasy. You know what I mean?
Well, even though there may be an I in Rich and Eisen, Mark, I'm a team player when it comes to you. So I accept your apology, and I say congratulations to you on those touchdowns.
I appreciate you, Rich. You're the man, bro.
Now, are you saying, before I let you go, that Alvin Kamara is going to root for Alabama over Tennessee this week because he's such a Crimson Tide guy? Is that what you're saying?
I don't think he's going to root for Alabama over Tennessee.
Okay.
But he knows, that he has Crimson blood, and he knows what comes with that. So,
Mark, you take care of yourself, man.
All right, you too.
Thanks for the call. We'll chat again soon. Mark Ingram, at Mark Ingram 22 on Twitter.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.